to Allison. I'm a family member of a former Navy medic who was stationed at Camp Lejeune. Corpsman, sorry. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for their service to our veterans and the work they're doing, especially CAP members. I would, I'm not sure who to direct the question to, but if someone could give me some specific examples of what neurobehavioral effects might be observed.
I'll take a stat that maybe someone could be able to. It's a broad category. The research that was done on neurobehavioral effects in industry among workers who work with solvents is they do these tests. They're not diagnostic tests, but they do pick up subtle differences in your performance, both in language and in memory, your ability to, your physical abilities in terms of hand-eye dexterity is what I'm trying to get, thank you. Peripheral neuropathy, things like that, okay? And they look at differences between workers who have high levels of these solvent exposures and workers who don't, and so on, and they look and see if there are any differences in them. And they see some subtle differences. So that's where a lot of the literature is, a lot of the studies in the literature are. So when the NRC, the National Research Council, put out its report in 2009, they listed neurobehavioral effects as one that solvents cause without any further elaboration. The report had a lot of flaws anyway, but this was another flaw in it. What we did was we looked at the literature ourselves to see, in particular we were focusing on Parkinson's disease because there is some evidence in human studies, but there's also a mechanism, a way that the chemicals could cause certain things in the body to create Parkinson's disease. And that's special when you have a mechanism like that and you can identify it, because it's rare that you can do that for diseases. So we looked at Parkinson's and we made the assessment that there was at least more likely than not evidence that trichloroethylene causes Parkinson's. So that was one neurobehavioral disease, okay? There aren't any neurobehavioral diseases per se where there's a lot of evidence for either trichloroethylene or perchloroethylene and these diseases. So that's part of the issue. Again, there's a lot of evidence about subtle differences, mood changes, maybe headaches and so on among solvent workers versus non-solvent workers, but that's what we have. Okay, so that's why it's difficult for all of us to figure out the VA too, to figure out what to do about this huge catch-all thing called neurobehavioral disorders.